the wine industry has its sommeliers.
Right.
There's
the
even
wine
been
experts.
There's even been a movie, a documentary, all about what it takes to become a master sommelier, just a handful of them around. Well, the beer industry has their own. And you and I, as knowledgeable as we are of the beer industry, didn't even know this existed until just recently.
I did not know about this until recently.
It's the Cicerone certification program, and they too have that master level to be a master Cicerone. Cicerones is the plural. I actually called the organization based in Chicago.
Find out.
Because I'm like, is it Cicerones? Is it Cicerone? You know, like what?
Right.
What is it?
What is it?
For the plural. But we are lucky to have with us one of the few women who have become a master Cicerone. Nicole Ernie joins us from her home in the Bay Area, and nice to have you with us this morning, Nicole.
Good morning.
Yeah. So Patty and I had no idea that this existed, that there was this program. How long has it been around?
The Cicerone certification program has been around for about 5 years now, a little over 5 years.
Oh, okay. So it is relatively new.
So I don't feel so bad just learning about it.
No. Yeah. And how many people have reached that master Cicerone like you have, that level of certification?
There's only 7 of us. So,
Whoa.
Yeah.
So when I say you're one of the few, you're actually the only woman.
That's not true.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah, women have had good success with the exam. So our first Canadian Master Cicerone is also a woman.
So there's 2 of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Canadian though, one here in the U.S., one in Canada. Is that right?
So if I really wanted to stretch it and make sure I say you're the only U.S.
There you go.
female, right?
But I mean, just being one of 7 is really the more exciting aspect for me.
True.
Yes, it's fun to say, like, yeah, I was the first woman to pass the Master Cicerone exam, but I was also the 4th person to pass the Master Cicerone exam.
Wow.
So that's really the more interesting part to me. I think it's not a surprise to me that women are kind of a big part of this level of the program right from the get-go. So it's it's exciting. Are the majority of the people sitting for the master exam male? Yes, but I think I'm more excited to be one of the first 7. I think.
So what does that exam entail? Because we've heard about the one for being a sommelier and how difficult that is. I assume this is equally difficult.
It's a very tough test. I was a nervous wreck the whole time I was taking it, and so much so that the next year when I helped, with the administration of the exam, I was almost as nervous.
Oh, really? Because you felt it for the others, huh?
Yeah, I just, I had a lot of empathy,
Yeah.
So it's a 2-day exam process. It's 2 full 8-hour days. Basically, each day there's a kind of cycle that you go through when you take the exam. So there's a 3-hour period of essay writing, during which you exit for half an hour to give an oral exam.
Oh.
And then after that 3-hour period is complete, you go into 30 minutes of time tasting trials. And those tasting exams, when those end, then you have a break, and then you kind of repeat that cycle again in a different subject matter area. So basically, over the course of 2 days, you complete this 3 hours of writing, half-hour oral exam, half-hour of time tasting flights, 4 times. So
do you have to travel to Chicago to do this? I would imagine.
You do have to travel. Most people do. We give the exam in Northern Illinois more frequently than in other places, but we also offer the exam in Southern California, and also occasionally we did for the first time for the last exam that we gave was in the greater Philadelphia area.
So, Nicole, what does somebody do with a Master Cicerone degree? I would imagine you'd be in big demand at restaurants that have an extremely large beer selection, but what are some of the other opportunities?
I mean, that's a great question. If anybody has some ideas, give me a call. No, I mean, right now there's only 7 of us, so the industry is still trying to figure out what our skills are and how much we know, and filter that out from the 7 personalities that
right.
the Master Cicerones currently present. A lot of the Master Cicerones kind of have this tie-in to their present career. So, for example, I work for the Cicerone certification program, and I knew I wanted to take the master exam before I went to work for them. But it was, for me, it was a necessary aspect of my professional development, and now I can contribute to, developing the Master Cicerone exam and really honing it and helping make it better. So that's how I am applying it right now. I also, though my passion really is connecting people with really good beer. There's another Master Cicerone who is the field quality manager for Boulevard Brewing Company, which is, that job is exactly how it sounds. Like he is responsible for making sure that Boulevard beer tastes good at all the bars that serve it. So.
Yeah, because there are there's problems you can have with the lines and infections and stuff like that. So it's a good thing to have
to make sure you have that quality control. So I'm curious, what was your inspiration to do something like this, and how would someone get started? How do you prepare? How do you train to become a Cicerone?
Yeah, so I've always enjoyed that kind of academic challenge, and I was working in the beer industry. I worked at a bar called the Trappist in Oakland for 3 years right out of college, and I knew, okay, if I'm going to do this, I really want to take it to the next level. That's when I started hearing about Cicerone program. I had gotten involved with, amateur homebrew judging, which is, a great community of people that get together and objectively analyze homebrew.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard about there's something going on kind of like this for for people that work professionally in the industry. It's an exam that leads to a professional title. And so I was like, well, I have to do that. I'm excited about it. So I set my sights on certified Cicerone right away, and through the course of studying for it and taking that exam, I knew that I really wanted to take the master exam at some point.
Right.
Especially being a young person in this industry that's dominated by people in their 40s and 50s, just probably like a lot of other industries. I really wanted to show I'm not just young and enthusiastic. I really know my stuff, and so that was kind of my way of being able to show objectively. I passed this really hard test that only 35% of people that pass. I'm talking about the certified Cicerone exam when I say that.
Right.
Right.
Because there are different levels. There's the certified beer servers, the first step. And, Nicole, I'm on a bunch of different lists, and I saw this one job interview or job prospect come down for they wanted a beer tender sort of thing at this tap room in, I think it was in Pleasanton or Livermore or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it said that they're only looking at people that are certified beer servers or, have passed some of the Cicerone things.
So there are different levels.
And that was the first time I'd ever seen that. That's actually it was that made me think, you know what, we should talk about this on the show, because I didn't even know.
It's not common knowledge, I don't think.
Yeah, it's starting to be here and there. It's just like anything else. It kind of spreads regionally in different areas. Chicago area, we're really well known. That's where the program's based. But then I found that in California and the Pacific Northwest, it's been a little bit slower to catch on.
Mm-hmm.
I think because we have a lot of pride in the amount of beer knowledge we already have.
Right. Now, I don't need no certification.
Yeah, exactly. But now that people are finding out how hard the test is and how challenging it is, it's starting to really catch on. And the Central Coast is certainly an area where we have a number of certified Cicerones.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting stuff.
California makes some good beer.
Oh yeah, we do. We need, and there's so much of it that I think consumers are excited to find people that can help guide them. It's a lot of work to get to know beer, to get to know wine, and so that's where somebody that knows their stuff can come in and be of assistance and say, hey, oh, you like this? Have you ever tried this beer?
Right. Well, I'll be thinking about you, Nicole, when I throw back a cold one later today. Nicole Ernie, Master Cicerone, one of only 2 women and one of only 7 in the world. You can find more information at cicerone.org. That's CICERONE.org. We have a link at eatdrinkexplore.com. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, everyone, stick around. When we come back, we're talking whale watching.